to order at this time. If everyone would please rise, we'll have a Pledge of Allegiance and a prayer led by Henry Hurd.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we come this evening, first of all, saying thank you for another beautiful day. And then we ask that you be guiding light in this meeting tonight. We ask that you would bless those in the nursing homes, bless those that need jobs. There's so many of us, so many folks in this community that need jobs, and we ask that you would bless them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Henry. Mary, when you're ready, if you would call roll, please.
Hurt.
Here.
Beach.
Here.
Livingston.
Here.
Carter.
Here.
Ehlers.
Here.
Heaton. Young.
Here.
Kelly.
Here.
Hearing of citizens' comments, we kind of cleared the place out, but if there's anybody left that has something they'd like to say, now's the time.
We're going to regret not being able to hear what I have to say. I'm just passing out a newspaper article that was recently in the Boonville newspaper that pertains to the website. I'm just going to call someone on.
Evan, if you would please state your name. We are still having court reporter.
Evan Melkersman, and I'm in Ward 3. Everybody have a copy then?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Evan Melkersman of Central Missouri Community Action. I've come before the council tonight to provide an update on behalf in regards to the People's Food Guild, which is a group my agency supports and was expanded as a result of our most current Step Up to Leadership class. Along with other local organizations like the Food Pantry and As the River Flows, the group works to combat local hunger. 48.8 million Americans, including 16.2 million children, live in households that lack the means to get enough nutritious food on a regular basis. As a result, they struggle with hunger at some point during the year. Food insecurity, or the limited or uncertain availability of nutritionally adequate and safe food, exists in 17.2 million households in America, 3.9 million of them with children. Rates of food insecurity are substantially higher than the national average among households with incomes near or below the federal poverty line. Among households with children headed by single parents, which amounts to about 35.1% of female-headed households with children, are food insecure, and among Black and Hispanic households. According to the Food Bank's website, Missouri is ranked 7th in the nation for food insecurity and 5th highest rate of child food insecurity. In Cooper County alone, the percentage of households with children with food uncertainty is 17.3%. And as of 4:45 this afternoon, the People's Food Guild has fed 113 families here in the Boonville community and are planning their second crop of the year to meet the needs of the community. Roger Harris, who is the elder of the Food Guild, shared a story with me the other day stating he spoke with a woman who was faced with deciding to pay for her medication or food. Roger stated this situation should never happen, and I agree with him 100%. The woman shared with Roger that they don't have to worry about making the decision now because of groups like the Guild, the Food Pantry, and As the River Flows. He also shared a story about 2 individuals who were vandalizing one of the gardens. Through Roger's natural leadership abilities that were expanded through Step Up to Leadership, he confronted the vandals and convinced them that it would be a much better use of their time to volunteer for the Guild. They are currently working in the gardens and arrive early each morning to volunteer. Both of the above stories are reflected in the article I handed out. The Guild currently has 6 community gardens located throughout Boonville. The gardens are ripe with corn, squash, potatoes, onions, zucchinis, tomatoes, and a plethora of other produce. This fall, the Guild will harvest their pumpkin patch and will provide pumpkins to the children's Head Start. The produce is free of charge, and representatives of the Guild will even deliver the produce to a residence. The Guild will also be conducting classes to educate the community on how to can fresh produce. The Guild is a shining example of community action at its best. It is a testament to what a small group of determined people can do to change this community for the better. They are indeed making the world a better place to live. If you know of a struggling individual or family in need of fresh produce, please call me at 882-5601, which is my office number, so I can put that family in touch with the Guild. Thank you for your time and for the support the community and the City of Boonville has offered to the Guild, and for each one of you who make this community a great place to live. So, thank you. Any questions that you have about the Guild that I can answer at this time? Okay. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Evan.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Approval of the minutes of the August the 5th, 2013 council meeting. They were in your packet. You've had time to read those. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, they will stand as presented. Consent items, we have none. Presentation of accounts and claims. Mary, when you're ready, if you would please read it.
Ordinance appropriating money. Be it ordained by the Council of the City of Boonville as follows. Section 1. For the purpose of paying salaries and myriad accounts against the City of Boonville, which have been allowed by the Council at the regular meeting thereof on August 19, 2013, the sum of $408,132.17. General Fund, $276,602.13. Sanitation, $21,328.96. CIP tax, $9,950.32. Waterworks, $10,536.75. Capital projects, $11,556.18. Wastewater, $37,504.60. Tourism, $6,817.33. Gaming, $33,835.90. Parks, water, 0. Section 2, the bookkeeper is hereby authorized and instructed to draw checks on the respective city bank accounts in favor of the persons whose salaries and accounts have been allowed as above, amounting to $408,132.17, being the total amount of money above appropriated. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage. First reading on August 19, 2013. Read for the second time this 19th day of August, 2013, since a copy was made available prior to the meeting.
Second reading, title only.
Ordinance appropriating money.
Mark?
Mayor, I move we approve this ordinance.
Morris?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Hurt.
Yes.
Beach.
Yes.
Livingston.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Ayers.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Unfinished business, item A, second reading of bill number 2013-023, establishing the tax levy for fiscal year 2013-14.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, establishing the rate of taxes to be levied on all properties subject to taxes in the City of Boonville, Missouri for the fiscal year beginning April 1st, 2013.
I would entertain a motion to adopt this. Mark?
Mayor, I move we approve this ordinance.
Do I hear a second? Morris?
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call.
Hurt.
Yes.
Beach.
Yes.
Livingston.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Ayers.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
I believe Earl would like to make a few comments.
I've included for a couple of meetings now some explanatory material there right behind the appropriation ordinance. It's on just one piece of paper, two-sided. If you look on the back side, you see the two columns there are marked 7.5 cents. That's effectively what your voluntary rollback is this year. If you flip over on the other side, as you remember, we had some discussions about the voluntary rollback as part of the top 25. We didn't act on that, and this paragraph I've circled explains it. I don't know if anybody tried to make heads or tails of that. I had to call somebody, see if I understood it right. But basically it says you can't do it this year, which is a creature of the legislature. Frankly, I think you can't call it anything but arrogance and condescension on their part. Basically to tell you that you voluntarily rolled it back 1 year, but the next year you can't put it back up. Whereas if you have not voluntarily rolled it back, you have no constraints at all. So they're punishing you, putting some restrictions under some guise of patting themselves on the back that they're protecting the taxpayer or something, even though you've already reached out to them. You know, it's just, this is the kind of absurdity that we at the bottom of the chain get inflicted upon. So that's my editorial comment.
Well done.
Thank you. And we have a court reporter.
Yeah,
on
grounds of
Yeah,
perpetuity.
perpetuity. We'll send a copy to our legislators.
I don't have any problem with that.
Item B, second reading of Bill Number 2013-024, authorizing a contract with the Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission for a partial parallel taxiway at Jesse Bertel Memorial Airport.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, authorizing the city administrator to execute a contract between the City of Boonville, Missouri and the Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission, providing for funding of a partial parallel taxiway project, providing an effective date therefore, and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
I would entertain a motion to
Mayor,
Morris.
I'll make a motion to be approved.
Okay, a little something different. Second?
Second.
Henry raised his hand. He followed all the rules. He raised his hand. Okay, so Henry seconded it. Questions or comments? I think this has been discussed for quite a while now. Okay, roll call.
Hurt.
Yes.
Beach.
Yes.
Livingston.
Yes.
Carter.
Yes.
Ehlers.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Item C, second reading of Bill Number 2013-025, annexing certain contiguous territory along and including the Highway 87 corridor and southern border of the city. This will just be this will not be the final.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, extending the corporate limits of the City of Boonville by annexing certain contiguous territory along and including the Highway 87 corridor and southern border of city consisting of approximately 327 acres, placing the property, if annexed, in a variety of zones including RA, R1, C1, and C2 in accordance with the zoning ordinances and the current land use, approving and adopting the plan of intent for the financing and provision of municipal services in the area annexed, fixing the time when this ordinance shall become effective, and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Okay. And a reminder, we will be meeting 1 week from this evening at 7 o'clock to take the final vote on that. We may have a few other business items, but that's our main item of business. Megan, did you have anything you wanted to add to this? Okay. New business, item A, consider approval of recommendations of local agency funding committee. You had a memorandum from the members of the local agency funding committee. Very clearly states what they're proposing be funded as far as distribution of funds. And Mr. Jeff Martin is here this evening. If anyone has any questions, he's here to answer those questions. Becky?
I do have a question. I was noticing on here the Central Missouri Cancer Memorial Park asked for $5,000. The group indicated to lower that to $2,500, and then Harvest House asked for just at $7,500, and theirs was raised $1,655. I was just kind of curious as to the reasoning for that.
Thank you, and by the way, thank you for coming to our meeting. We appreciated that. We talked long about that. The function of the committee is to spend your money, and we enjoy doing that. It's a privilege, but we try to be very, very careful about that and to make sure that that's invested really well. We are charged with spending it on those services, those activities within the community that are going to help those in need, and then also those community enhancement things. And that sometimes is a struggle for us in terms of what is enhancement. And then when things are very thin in terms of how much we have, sometimes we've had to pare out $20,000 from requests for what is available. We didn't have that struggle, but sometimes we really need to prioritize, and then we really focus on indigent or those need things more so than those that are dessert-like, that are enhancements for our community. With that, when we came to that proposal, What we found as they presented, they're all good proposals, and I think it will be an enhancement for our community. But with that, they were talking within their form that they filled out of a project that was, the costs were $100,000, and they were requesting $5,000. But what they were requesting for was actually designated for shrubs and bushes, flowers of that nature. But in the course of the presentation, then we found out, actually just because of the question that one of the members made, that they won't be ready for that. They're not at that point. They've been working with you all, with the city, with Parks and Rec, in terms of setting it up over there, but they're not going to be spending $100,000 in this next fiscal year. And unless there's some other overriding reason, the post-prom party or when the sack lunches were provided during the summer, we're to have that done. Everything's to be spent by March 1st of next year. So because of what one of the committee members said, you're not buying flowers in the next year. And they said, no, we're not. We're only going to do architectural plans. Well, that's not $100,000. And part of the mandate for our money is we never get more than 50% of a project. And we really don't like to do that in terms of what the investment from other sources are. That we really don't think that it's the city's job to fully fund big projects. So we try to monitor that. So then they talked about the architectural plans, and they do need to get something firmed up and get it beyond the concept drawing. And so we pulled back and said, well, how much is that going to be? And it seemed that it could go up to $11,000, which was frightening, but I know drawings cost lots of money. But still, when it becomes a tertiary effect in the community, it's not a bad effect, but we really like to feed people, we like to house people, we like kids to go to the theater and know they have had an experience, that we know something has happened. The city's money has gone and someone has benefited, obviously, from that.
Okay.
So we like that. That's how we decided, maybe we don't really want to go $5,000 for architectural plans. And then, just through all of those, looking at those, we know, just from all of us on that committee, the experience and the challenges that Harvest House has right now. And amongst all of our presenters, for those who are in need, they are singular. They're unique in that they're the only ones who deal with homelessness. We have several wonderful groups that do food and those that provide children's services, but they're the only ones that do shelter. And just knowing for those difficulties, that's where we decided. We've done that once or twice before, when we thought somebody who really does good work has been modest in their request, and when it's been a little bit fatter year and things balanced out. So once or twice we have actually done that. Typically we try to follow their requests and not assume, but we know that with those, when they are trying to scrape things down and what they ask of that fund, then they know that we're going to parse it out a lot. We've got a lot of hands out. So that's how we made those, why we made to that recommendation.
Thank you. Any other questions?
And something that I think you left out, a police officer stopped someone, I don't remember who it was, and said, we need to get this Harvest House back, because if we don't, people coming into the community that don't have houses, don't have a place to eat, they're going to start committing crimes. And they do.
Steve?
Just curious, where's this money come from and who sets that dollar amount?
The money comes from the half-cent CIP sales tax that is passed every 5 years. It sunsets after 5 years. It has been a very popular tax, if you will. There aren't many popular taxes, but it is one of our more popular taxes. And it is actually divided percentage-wise. A certain percentage goes to fire protection. A certain percentage goes to the parks. It's very clearly marked out. And a certain percentage, is it 5% or 2%, goes to local agency funding. 10%. 10%. So it's very clearly, you just take the number and you multiply it out, and that's how much money you have to give away this year. And they have set guidelines, and I think he alluded to those, and they have a real hard task, because every body has a good cause.
We have lots of good people in our
Yes,
community.
we really do, doing a lot of good things. So, does that answer your question, Steve?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Before I leave, could I just say thank you particularly to Mary McAllister, who we meet once, and once in a while we have to work things out or talk about the document, but Mary is the one who really works with this all year long, and when people are requesting money or when they've asked for something for a particular fund, then that's what she pays it for. She doesn't just give it out without checking to make sure. I so appreciate what Mary does for the other 11 months and 30 days when things are going on and we have very little to do with it. We get the challenge of dividing it out, but Mary's the one who really implements it and makes sure that it runs the way it's supposed to. So thank you for all that you do.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate your coming this evening.
Good point.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Mary. Do we have a motion yet?
Not yet.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion. Ned,
So moved.
do I see a second? Morris?
Second.
Okay.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'm going to abstain tonight because I have a business relationship with a recipient on the list.
Okay. So you'll be abstaining. Okay. Roll call.
Hurt,
Yes.
Beach,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Ayers,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Good, thank you very much. Item B, consider Resolution R2013-09, authorizing and approving MECO Engineering Company, Incorporated, for engineering services for the MoDOT Sidewalk Improvement Program on Spring Street.
A resolution of the City of Boonville, Missouri, authorizing and approving an agreement with MECO Engineering Company, Incorporated, to provide engineering services. Whereas the City of Boonville received grant funding through the Transportation Enhancement Program for a sidewalk improvement program, Spring Street. And whereas pursuant to grant requirements, the city has solicited and received statements of qualification for engineering. And whereas the City of Boonville Review Committee has interviewed, reviewed, and ranked the proposals and recommends that MECO Engineering Company, Incorporated, to represent the most qualified firm. And whereas the State of Missouri, MoDOT, as the funding agency, has reviewed the proposed agreement and fees and approved both as attached. Therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Boonville, Missouri as follows. Section 1, that the City of Boonville hereby approves the agreement with MECO Engineering Company, Incorporated, for engineering services on the Sidewalk Improvement Program, Spring Street. Section 2, that the City Administrator and City Clerk are hereby authorized and ratifies the execution of said agreement on behalf of the City of Boonville. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage and approval, passed this 19th day of August, 2013, by the City Council of Boonville, Missouri.
Mark?
I move that we approve this resolution.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you, Morris. Any questions or comments? Roll call.
Hurt,
Yes.
Beach,
Yes.
Livingston,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Ayers,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Item C, consider Resolution R 2013-10, authorizing and approving HDR Engineering Incorporated for engineering services for the MoDOT Katy Bridge pedestrian conversion, Phase 1.
A resolution of the City of Boonville, Missouri, authorizing and approving an agreement with HDR Engineering Incorporated to provide engineering services. Whereas the City of Boonville received grant funding through the Transportation Enhancement Program for a Katy Bridge pedestrian conversion, Phase 1. And whereas pursuant to grant requirements, the city has solicited and received statements of qualification for engineering. And whereas the City of Boonville Review Committee has interviewed, reviewed, and ranked the proposals and recommends that HDR Engineering Incorporated to represent the most qualified firm. And whereas the State of Missouri, MoDOT, as the funding agency, has reviewed the proposed agreement and fees and approved both as attached. Therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Boonville, Missouri as follows. Section 1, that the City of Boonville hereby approves the agreement with HDR Engineering Incorporated for engineering services on the Katy Bridge pedestrian conversion, Phase 1. Section 2, that the City Administrator and the City Clerk are hereby authorized and ratifies the execution of said agreement on behalf of the City of Boonville. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage and approval. Passed this 19th day of August, 2013, by the City Council of Boonville, Missouri.
Morris?
Mayor, make a motion this be approved.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Steve, thank you. Questions, comments? Morris?
Just one comment, that this is not coming out of city funds, that Save the Bridge is paying for this engineering.
Correct.
Just so the public would know that.
Yes, good point. Any other comments? Roll call.
Hurt?
Yes.
Beach?
Yes.
Livingston?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Ayers?
Yes.
Young?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Item D, first reading of bill number 2013-026, approving the imposition of an increased sales tax on hotel room rentals, commonly known as the bed tax.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, approving the imposition of an increased sales tax on hotel room rentals, bed tax, for the promotion of tourism, submitting the sales tax increase on hotel room rentals to the qualified voters of the City of Boonville, Missouri, at a special election to be held on Tuesday, November 5th, 2013, providing an effective date therefore, and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Okay, thank you very much. Reports of standing committees, Street, Alley, and Sanitation Board, July 13th and August 28th. Noah is not here this evening, but your minutes were in your packet, so I'm sure you had time to read those. Emil is not here either, so you can save your questions for next time. Item B, Tourism Commission, Becky?
We did not have a meeting
Okay,
due to lack of agenda items.
okay. Police Board, Henry?
I was unable to attend that meeting, but I want to say thank you to the officers for, where is it at? I gotta find it. Officer Pangburn and Sergeant James Deckard were able to obtain 4 brand new portable breathing testing devices, and I just want to thank them for being able to do that.
At no
Anything
cost.
you get free.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Very good. Any questions for Councilman Hurt? No? Park Board, Morris?
Y'all have a copy of the minutes. That's more or less a routine meeting, and everything's still going good in our parks.
Okay. They look beautiful this year, as always. Reports of city officials, City Administrator. Earl?
Yeah, I wanted to draw the council's attention to the MECO contract. As you know, it's always been a multi-year contract. The expiration's coming up in October. That's relatively close, but I'm not sure we're going to be starting very many projects over November and December, so I'm not sure that the deadline has any particular impact. So I guess you either need to express now or fairly soon what direction we think we want to go. I don't have a formal recommendation for you this evening. I just wanted to get it on the table for us to go forward. I think things are going along fine, and I don't recommend any change. And indeed, I think probably the circumstances have changed from when this concept was started. It's probably been 10 years ago or so now. Scott, I don't know when you all started here, or whoever Allstate preceded you. So of having just one engineer, I don't think it's feasible to at least change to a whole nother one now, given the involvement we have with some wastewater items and some things like that. I don't think it precludes you from changing on some other projects that sort of standalone things. So I'm not sure that other than staying with the present provider, that you can keep up the same concept, if you follow what I'm trying to express. So, since staff is pleased, Scott's always responsive, the rest of the staff's responsive. We've done a lot of work. Frankly, if you look back on the number of projects, I suspect in some years, we particularly when we had the bond proceeds going, we probably did something maybe approaching to the number of contracts that, I don't know, I want to say Columbia. Right. That's a lot of contracts to administer, folks. It's a lot of contracts, and that's one thing ML spends some time on, and that's kind of an unappreciated duty that he has, because none of this stuff goes perfectly smooth when you're doing construction in an already built-up area. So, again, we need to address this in some fashion to try to renew it and carry it out another 2 or 3 years, or do something else.
But you're not looking for any guidance tonight, or?
Don't have to have it tonight, because like I said, I don't think we're going to, I mean, Scott's obviously going to finish the projects we've started this year, regardless of what happens, so I think we just, you know, you can give me some feedback by the next meeting, if you would.
Okay. Mayor, I do have 3 appointments that I would like to recommend. Appointment of Albert Turner to the Housing Authority. He was recommended by Bob Rora, and I believe he was at the last Housing Authority meeting, Morris informs me, and is a very good prospective member of that authority. Also, Wayne Jones. Some of you may know Wayne Jones has chaired the local agency funding committee for years, for a long time. And every year I have to twist his arm to do it. And so he made me promise, this was his last year. So I said, well, that's fine, but you have to do something else. So he says that he has an overwhelming desire to be on Street and Alley. So I said, well, we can do that. So I would like to recommend him for Street and Alley. And then lastly, Cemetery Board has a couple of openings, and Gary has talked to LaDonna Drew, and she is willing to serve on that board. We're still looking for someone. So anyway, I would like to recommend those 3 folks. And you can wait and do it at the next meeting, or we can do it now. Mark's got a thought.
Mayor, I would like to move that we approve all 3 of these when we can find citizens that are willing to support and help in the community. I don't think we need another week or 2 weeks to decide.
Okay.
My motion is to approve all 3.
Thank you. Do I hear a second? Becky? Becky seconds. Further discussion? Roll call.
Hurd,
Yes.
Beach,
Yes.
Livingston.
Yes.
Cardy.
Yes.
Carter. Ayers.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Thank you very much. City Councilor,
I
Megan?
have nothing further this evening.
Okay. City Clerk?
I have nothing to report.
Okay. Miscellaneous?
I have some.
Mike?
Yeah, at the last meeting, I mentioned that that I could schedule the special committee, public forum, and a presentation to the council as early as the end of this month, and it's starting next month to the council. I'd like to defer that. I think I need more time with the city staff. They haven't been able to do that reasonably so, considering the annexation is consuming a lot of time right now. So I don't want to burden the staff. Also, I need to do some more fact-finding on some questions that have come up. So I'm deferring that a few months. We'll get to it. It's not coming off the books. It's still going to be delivered. Just want to make sure that everybody has the homework done before it's presented to the council. All right? Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Gary Nauman has a comment.
One real quick thing. Back in July, the council agreed to name the softball field at Rolling Hills Park in honor of Bill Simmons. Next Wednesday evening, the 28th, will be the dedication ceremony. It will be between the JV and the varsity game that evening. And I've already invited the mayor, but I'd like to also invite the council and any city staff that would like to attend. I can't tell you the exact time. You never know how long or short the games are going to be, but it's probably going to be sometime between 6:30 and 7. When I get a better feel for it, I'll try to shoot everybody an email and let them know just exactly when we think it's going to start. So, but I wanted to extend that invitation.
Okay, very good. Anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.